Fewer than 1,000 pilots have ever soloed at the controls of a U-2 plane. One of them lives outside of Livingston, Montana. Retired Air Force Colonel Ed Walby has logged more than 1,000 hours in the cockpit of a U-2, the plane nicknamed the Dragon Lady.
As you come down to land, you get within 10 feet of the runway, you're chased by another pilot. He calls out your altitudes. And when you get down to around 2 feet, you hope to have the airplane in a full stall. If you stall too high, the airplane drops and the airplane breaks in two, and you might get hurt. If you stall too low, it bounces, goes back up in the air, stalls again, and then the airplane drops and you break in two and you might get hurt. So it's difficult, plus you have the fishbowl on your head, the spacesuit. You've probably been flying 10, 12 hours, you're fatigued. Just all that stuff comes together, makes it really hard to fly. At altitude, it's easy, you got an autopilot, unless you lose the autopilot, and then you're in that coffin corner of 5 knots. Go too fast, you die, go too slow, you die.
But in spite of the inherent danger of flying a U-2, there's just something about flying at the edge of space.
When you're at 70,000 feet, you actually see the curvature of the Earth. This is either a sunrise or a sunset. There's a little piece of the moon showing. I actually saw Halley's Comet from altitude the last time it came through. Yeah, you can see the curvature of the Earth and the uniqueness of that sunrise. I think there's a sunrise. It's quite a neat place to be.
First proposed in 1953 under President Dwight Eisenhower, the U-2 was an immediate game changer in the international spy game. With a range of 7,000 miles and the ability to cruise at 70,000 feet, it could operate above the Soviet systems. To this day, the U-2 spy plane is considered the greatest intelligence breakthrough of the 20th century.
Folks that say, well, your cameras are so good you can actually read the license plate on a car, and I would tell them that's an exaggeration. From 70,000 feet, you don't have cameras that good that you could read the actual numbers on a license plate. What I can tell you is what kind of car it is, where it was manufactured, where it came from, where it's going, who's inside, who's male, who's female, what radio station they're listening to, how much gasoline's in the tank, how much oil's in the crankcase, and who they're communicating with if they're on a radio. But to say I could read the license plate would be an exaggeration.
Today, the modern version of the U-2 and its drone counterpart, the Global Hawk, are the front line of U.S. intelligence, involved in every major conflict and natural and man-made disasters since the mid-50s.
I flew over Rwanda during the slaughter of refugees during that conflict. We've been over Somalia, we've been over Mount St. Helens when it erupted. With Global Hawk and U-2, we took images of the reactors in Japan during the earthquake and the spread of radiation. We did the fires in California. We even searched for the Ark, Noah's Ark, using the radar and penetrating through the snow in Turkey. So some people say we found it, some people don't.
Colonel Walby retired to Montana several years ago. It was a homecoming of sorts, as he actually started his long Air Force career stationed at Minot Air Base in North Dakota.